What up, Jetheads? Welcome to Side B, or Part B, or Part 2, or Side 2, or the next part, a bonus show about James Bond. On this week's show, our previous show, we talked with Paul Cornell about his love of James Bond, and then we ended up in a discussion about 3 James Bond movies, Quantum of Solace, The Living Daylights, and The World Is Not Enough, and their various virtues and also faults, and how they are maligned in a lot of ways, or at least 2 of them are unfairly maligned. So we get into that. We talk about the nature of the character of James Bond, and we also talk about James Bond theme songs. We go through a couple of those, and we kind of pick our own personal favorite Bond theme song, and the answer might surprise you. So thanks for tuning in, and keep the geek fires burning. We talked a little bit about your history with James Bond. I would tell you about mine, but it's bog standard. Just, white kid, American, grew up really loving a British secret agent for some reason.
Sure.
I don't know why we couldn't figure it out.
Over here.
Cool American secret agent character.
Not as cool.
This is where
doesn't
people
have the
point
accent.
out the million ones that we do have, but none of them are as cool as James Bond. And a big catalyst for me was when my uncle, who is, I don't know if I'd call him an eccentric, but he's different. He has a lot of books.
Sure.
And he's profligate with them. And he noticed me admiring his collection of Penguin paperbacks of the whole James Bond series. And he's like, you like those? And I was like, I don't think I've ever read these. They're really cool. And he's like, take them. So suddenly I had all the James Bond Penguin books. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just started working my way through those. And a lot of people talk about how, James Bond, he's not like the books, or he's not like the movies, or this James Bond, he's going to go back to the books.
Right.
It's going to be a lot like that. Nobody is like the James Bond in the books.
Okay.
And we talk about this in the interview. And you shouldn't necessarily want to do that, necessarily. Unless you want Hoagie Carmichael choking to death on cigarette smoke. Like, you're not going to get the Bond from the books. It's fine. But there is as Paul points out, a sort of romance about that character.
Sure.
That is likable. But we don't get that. Instead, we get Sean Connery.
Sure.
Who Fleming himself was not into.
Really?
When it was announced. No.
Really? Who did Fleming want to play Bond? Do you know?
Hoagie Carmichael.
Oh, okay.
Literally Hoagie Carmichael.
Okay.
Who was not good for the part.
Oh.
Sure he probably read, though.
Okay.
No, he didn't want this Scottish giant, like we said before, who just was very different than what he had imagined. But so Moore is gone, sadly. Connery's going to go one of these days, and it's going to be tough.
It's going to be very tough.
It's not going to be tough because it's real sad. It's going to be tough because he was a problematic figure. It's going to be tough to figure out if you want to be sad or not.
Oh.
But anyway, his work on those films is exemplary.
Yeah.
And he just, in a lot of ways, embodied that character. And I wonder if he was acting much at all. You look at his other film roles, and he's done a lot of other films, but there aren't a lot of things that really stand out as Sean Connery's real good in this.
What about
It's mostly just
Highlander?
Well, definitely Highlander. But he's doing his own thing as far as that goes.
That's true.
He just walked on set and he's like, give me my ponytail. And then leaves a freshly slapped woman in his wake and hits the set.
Yeah.
And he's ready to talk about, it's like magic, sort of, or whatever it is. You cannot die, Highlander. But James Bond will always define him.
Yeah.
And it's just his sort of just being kind of cool with everything is, I think, what got people. Like, he's got guys who want gold and they're shooting lasers at his dick or whatever.
Right.
And he's just like, yes, money better. He's just cool about it all.
Right. He's very laid back.
Laconic.
Yeah. It's hard to picture James Bond without picturing Sean Connery.
I just said that.
Yeah. But, I think that's true. And he really played that role to the hilt. And he personified that role. And I think he made it difficult for other people to come in and take over that role.
Yeah, but the guy that took over for him was the perfect guy to take over for him, though.
True.
There's a great YouTube video. There's a creator named George Rockel Schmidt on YouTube who does videos about films and things like that.
Okay.
And he did in the wake of Roger Moore's death, he did a career retrospective of him. And so if you're not familiar, and most people that are listening probably aren't really old enough to know the scope of Moore's career, but
Sure.
It's a great breakdown of his career and also who he was as a person who, unless somebody buys his old house and then we dig down and we find the kiddie porn dungeon or something like that, by all accounts, he played the saint. He was a saint. He was a very, very kind and generous man, and almost circumspect. In terms of his public life and he had success on the Saint, playing a James Bondy type character,
sure.
playing a secret agent, and so when they brought him in. If you look at Live and Let Die, they were kind of trying to do, I think, one thing, and then it just kind of, his entire tenure just turned into, I guess doesn't he step on alligator heads in Live and Let Die, or is that a different one when he's in the bayou? I can't remember. But anyway, he became the kind of goofy Bond.
Sure. That's okay, though.
And the old Bond.
The old Bond?
Not the gold Bond. Some may consider him the gold Bond.
Yeah.
He was 57 by the time he retired.
That's up there.
Yeah. I think in the books, 45 is the mandatory retirement age for double O's.
Oh, okay.
And my thing is they got to be fast and strong, but doesn't also having experience
count for something?
Sure.
Yeah. Craig has to be getting up there these days.
He's late 40s.
Yeah.
Or he might be 50.
I could see him being 50.
Yeah, a rock with a wig on it.
Yeah, I know.
A wet rock with a wig on it.
Oh,
we'll
man.
get there. And so, to a lot of people, Connery did it for 9 years and made 6 films. And this isn't counting the non-Eon one, the
right.
Never Say Never Again, which, by the way, nobody who loves Bond wants to talk about. But that is a Bond film, and honestly, I like that film.
Sure.
You want to see old Bond? That's old Bond.
Sure.
That's literally. It's got Rowan Atkinson in it. Kim Basinger's doing a pretty good job. I can't remember the name of the bad guy, but he's one of the better Bond villains in my opinion.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
All right.
A lot of people don't like that movie.
Because it's not an official Bond film.
I guess.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. And how does it fit in? Doesn't matter.
Not necessarily.
There's a new M comes on board.
Sure.
When a new Bond comes on board.
Yeah.
With with Brosnan. And then Brosnan leaves. We do a origin film.
Yes.
With Craig, where M is M.
Yes.
So
I know.
We've just confirmed at this point that Bond is just a guy who gets the name James Bond when he joins, the double O's.
Right.
Only not because Daniel Craig has a brother named Blofeld, and we don't remember the other stainless steel delicatessen Blofeld from before. So
right.
None of it matters.
No.
At all. We skipped right over Mr. George Lazenby.
Yeah, we did. I don't know.
The world did.
The world did?
Did you ever see On Her Majesty's Secret Service?
I don't know that I have.
It's the most 60s of,
Is it?
Of the James Bond films. Yeah.
Okay.
It takes place in 1969.
Okay.
And not specific. I don't think specifically Austin Powers is making fun of that film, but it is the most, I think, film that you could watch and go, well, it's clear where the idea for Austin Powers came from.
Okay, sure.
This is very goofy.
Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also a lot of pathos.
Okay.
A lot of pathos.
All right.
We have all the time in the world. Get to that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, I should say that Moore did it for 12 years and had 7 films.
Okay.
So quite a few.
Yeah.
Then, View to a Kill, not so great. We were listening to the theme songs. Don't give it away. We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
We were listening to theme songs. It's like, boom, boom, boom.
I know.
Couldn't tell what decade this song was made in.
No way.
And they're dancing into the fire.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's this movie about? And I'm like, well, there's no dancing and there's no fire. Christopher Walken is trying to blow up Silicon Valley or something like that.
Wow.
And there's a blimp, but there's no dancing and there's no fire. And that was it for more. He was gone after that. And then, Timothy Dalton came in.
That's true.
A guy who I believe they had been looking at previously.
Yes.
I think when he was younger, they were thinking about getting him in. And didn't take it. Our first Welsh Bond.
Okay.
2 movies in 2 years. Or like 2.5, 3 years.
That's
one good,
schedule.
one bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah. And I think that was more about what was going on with the production in general. And also, it's very telling that when GoldenEye with Brosnan comes out in whatever it was, 95?
Something like that.
They had changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We also had to update this character because you're literally putting these things out like as the statues holding hammers and sickles are falling down, and it's like,
right.
Whoa, let's have him fight a drug dealer in Miami.
Right.
Yeah. So once they kind of figure that out, we get GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan.
Mm-hmm.
Seen GoldenEye? You've seen GoldenEye.
I feel like I've seen GoldenEye, but I feel like I don't remember it.
You should.
Yeah.
It's like the only good
Brosnan film.
Brosnan one, sadly.
Okay.
Yeah. And he would go for 7 years and have 4 films.
Okay.
Not real great.
No.
There are things to enjoy about them.
Yeah.
Not much. I personally enjoy when he gets punched or when he gets hit by something.
Because he has such a great reaction to that.
It's like is this what you meant by like the Bond of the books? It's real. Because I don't think Sean Connery ever got punched.
No, I don't think he did.
He got flipped by a lady into a bale of hay, and then he flipped her, and then he converted her from lesbianism. But
whoa,
yeah, Brosnan takes a lot of damage in these movies.
Yeah, he does.
They go out of their way to make him, not look like suave. He's getting thrown into Korean prisons and stuff like that, and getting tortured with a thing on the back of his neck or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know what's supposed to be happening there, but
tightening his neck.
It's basically just an opportunity for him to go one last screw.
Right. Is he like that in his other films?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a Brosnan thing.
Yeah. If you watch The November Man or whatever else, or if he gets punched in Tom's Crown Affair, I guarantee it's for sure.
No acting teacher ever told him, Pierce. No.
That's his acting
dial it
like,
back.
That's it. Right? This kid's going to the moon. If they ever remake Moonraker.
Oh.
And then we got Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Because Brosnan basically just quit in disgust.
Yeah.
I think it was mutual, but Brosnan's like, all right, this has not worked out. And Die Another Day was so poorly received that let's all just walk away and we'll just call it good.
We'll wash our hands of this.
Yeah, that's what they did. In that giant CGI tidal wave, they washed their hands. And then we got Daniel Craig, who, funnily enough, is coming up on Connery here in terms of how long he's done it.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's done it for 9 years. So far, because he is still the Bond.
Yep.
He's done 4 films so far.
Yep.
And there is a planned one for 2019, I think?
I think so.
Yeah. For Bond 25. That'll be his 5th film. And by the time that that's done, he will have done it for like 13 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Because, it's been a while since
we've had one. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yep.
But he is practically slitting his wrists. So,
well, let's talk about that a little, and then let's get to talk about what we're here to talk about, which is
Okay.
those 3 Bond films. What do you think about Daniel Craig?
I like Daniel Craig. I like Daniel Craig as Bond. I think he is a strong Bond. He's great as a spy.
Is he great as a spy?
I feel like he is.
Doesn't a spy go, well, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. I have the information.
Right.
And Daniel Craig's like, I'll murder you and no information. I'm a bad spy.
You have a point.
It depends on your approach, because
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this when we were watching Quantum, which is like, A spy is supposed to get the information. You get a spy like... I can't think of any great examples right now, but somebody like Saunders in The Living Daylights, right?
Sure.
The guy that gets killed by the glass door.
Yeah.
Baller way to go. Where has everybody gone? That's what I want to know. And he's a field agent, but you get the idea that his thing is just he's probably got some cover where he works in a watch shop or something like that, and he just hangs around Europe and picks up information and then gives it to like players who come in and out.
Right.
He's not a double O. Double O's are bullets that you aim at people for the most part.
Right.
Or at least they should be. Like, Bond really shouldn't be doing a lot of reconnaissance work. He shouldn't be doing a lot of, like, intelligence type stuff. He's a counterintelligence agent.
That's true.
So you find Saunders fingers somebody in Vienna or something like that who has been handing information to the other side or something like that.
Right.
And then he gets a knock from 007 if he knocks at all. And that guy's done.
Right.
He's not around anymore. Like, that's kind of what Bond does.
Right.
And the movies play fast and loose with that.
Yeah,
Bond's
they do.
often taking pictures of things with tiny little cameras in his belt buckle or something like that. And he really doesn't, He also, as somebody who has a license to kill, he has the latitude to sort of chase things down.
Yeah.
Unless you say that he's going rogue.
Which they like to do an awful lot.
Which
in
they
these films.
do in, this is organic, which they do in Quantum of Solace.
Yes.
And I think it makes sense because he's both has latitude and doesn't.
Yep.
They will push this going rogue thing way past the point of we're sick of him going rogue in the Craig films. But he is aggressively following something to the point where, as far as his handlers can tell, or like, M and Toby, what's his name back in London, to them it looks like he's screwing this up.
Yeah.
Because he keeps killing everybody he runs into.
Right.
And we know, there's sort of a dramatic irony type thing, like we know that he wants, if he would kill everyone he could, just line them up.
Right.
Who was in Quantum for the death of Vesper, but we think that he's probably, he'll figure something out.
Right.
At some point.
Right.
But as far as his bosses are concerned, they're like, well, turn his credit cards off. Like, what is he doing? We got to bring him home.
Right.
And then when he won't come home, then he's officially rogue.
Right.
Except he's not, because he beats up all the guys that are taking him away and then just walks back up to M and is like, I really need to do this. And she's like, okay, fine.
I know.
Well, then he's not rogue then, is he?
Right.
Yeah.
Then she's like, well, he's my agent and I trust him.
I know I flew all the way down here to yell at him and arrest him, but let him go, boys.
Let him do his
He's
thing.
got a hotel to blow up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 2000 for Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
I forgot what year it was already. 2? Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Couldn't have been 2.
It was like 2007,
8.
9
8 was the
or
big,
8.
8 was the big strike year.
Okay.
And you can't talk about this movie without talking about strike.
Yeah.
Go.
It's a weird little movie. It's I think you said it's
Is
one
it
of
a
the
weird little movie?
Yeah, it is. I think you said it's like it's like the shortest.
It is the shortest Bond film.
Which is interesting.
Which is blessed when you're watching something like Skyfall and you're like, oh, just kill the guy with the removable face already.
I know.
We got to get to this thing.
I know. I feel like Dominic Green is a good bad guy. He's kind of sleazy and slimy. He's got slicked back hair.
I like him mostly because that guy is a very talented actor. Mm-hmm. He's small.
Yes.
And petty.
Yes.
And the conflict is small and petty.
Yeah.
I don't think that it always has to be a moon laser.
No, it doesn't.
This is a very real problem. Mm-hmm. This guy, is this industrialist who has found this loophole where he can control like these resources.
Yes.
And can hurt a lot of people who you would not normally pay attention to in a Bond movie, which is just people walking around who need water,
yes.
especially poor people, people who are disadvantaged. And so for that, having him not have a moon base or something like that and just be like this kind of small, petty, 2-bit kind of guy,
right,
who deserves an axe in the foot and more.
Yes.
I'm down.
I know. Yeah, he runs this company, and he's talking to this guy in Bolivia who he wants this pizza land, and he's like, oh, this
Pizza land, delicious.
No, piece of land.
Oh, gotcha.
And the guy's like, oh, it's worthless, and he's like, well, then you're getting a good deal.
Yeah.
But of course, little does he know that's where there's a lot of water in that land.
Yeah.
And I should say the Bond girl in this, she's really feisty, and she wants revenge on this one Bolivian, like, kind of like, he's almost like a dictator almost, but he's like some higher up in the Bolivian government.
He's a general.
Is he a general?
Or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
He wants to overthrow the government and start like a, military junta or whatever.
Right.
Which, has happened many
Right.
times in South America. This movie, like, if it was longer, the longer parts would probably be a political commentary.
Right.
Not just the very quick conversation we get in the bar between Felix and James Bond, where
Right.
they're like talking about manifest destiny and
Right.
stuff. And it's like, yeah, good beer. You got to go because these guys are going to shoot you.
Right. Well, she like has infiltrated, like, she's not like a secret agent, I don't think. She's just she has her own agenda. She infiltrated Green's company and wanted to get close to this general because this general killed her family.
Her plan doesn't make any sense when you kind of go back
Yeah.
through it, but it does put her on a boat with the general guy, which
Yeah.
is all she wanted.
Yeah, and
And I
then
like the fact that Bond screws that up.
yes, exactly.
Because he is, in this form, a blunt instrument who doesn't understand something if he can't stab it to death.
Right.
Which he stabs her contact to death.
Yeah.
Who she's supposed to meet, who is not her contact. It is one of Green's men.
Yes.
This is all stuff that you figure out after the fact, which I like. Normally, everything is so laid out. Hey, dummy, this is an agent, and he's got a gun that's inside a Pringles can or whatever.
Right.
And everything isn't very tricky and spy-y. There aren't a lot of twists necessarily.
Right.
And I like the fact that we're thrown with Bond into this situation where it's like, I don't know what any of this is.
Right.
But I'm going to do what spies do and just play along.
Right.
But that's the death that we were talking about, where
Yes.
he breaks into this guy's hotel room. Yeah, the guy was going to murder somebody.
Sure.
But breaks into the guy's hotel room and then has a knife fight with him and then doesn't, like, fire him out of a cannon or something
No.
like that. He just stabs him in his femoral artery.
Yeah.
And we watch the life leave the guy's eyes.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
he gets no
oh,
information from him.
No, he doesn't. No, he spends the next 10 minutes wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
And then he even screws that up.
Yeah.
Because she tries to shoot him and he has to jump out of the car.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. He's not a good spy.
He's not.
But he's not supposed to be. He's
No.
a murderer. He's a paid killer.
Yeah. M like knows like his like shorthand or something, because I can't remember what he said exactly. Like he said
was a dead end.
It was a dead end or
was a
something
dead
like
end.
that. And she's like, oh
He killed him.
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows how he works.
Yeah.
Everything you're describing sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. Why do people hate this movie?
I think people hate it because it came after Casino Royale, and I think Casino
And I think
Royale,
that's the only reason that people hate it.
I think so too.
I can't think of any other reason except
No.
it's short. It is it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nearly as dark as Skyfall, which everyone loves.
I don't understand why people love that movie.
I am starting to come around a little bit on Skyfall, but this isn't the Skyfall episode. We can talk about
No.
that some other time. Let's stay on task. But otherwise, I just don't get it. Like
I don't get it either.
The oil thing is dumb. Let's
Yeah.
do an homage to Goldfinger. Watch Skyfall. They homage every single Bond film that ever exists.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like how they fridge Fields and she's covered in oil and
Yeah, but here's the
soaked in
thing.
oil.
Remember, I mentioned it before. This was written during the Hollywood writer's strike, and
Yep.
so they had part of a script, but they couldn't develop a new script, and so they basically Iron Man this thing. In fact, it was made at the same time as Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
where they went, okay, well, we've got the beats drawn out. We know that we're going to have planes flying around. You have to have all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sort of in between dialogue, and so we're going to have to kind of fake a lot of this stuff. And I think what they came out with was okay. Like you talk
Yeah.
about Green as a bad guy and like his attitude and the way he treats people and the things he says, and that's they had to kind of fake all that stuff together, right?
Right.
And so I think you would have gotten more scenes with Fields, Strawberry Fields.
Right.
That's what you should really be offended at.
Yeah, I know.
Well, how's a woman named Strawberry Fields? Anyway.
Forever.
Only for a reel or two.
Yeah, I know.
I think we would have got a little more with her. And there's a suggestion, I think, that we get a little bit of, but we don't ever explore, that M says that she's, you got this lady killed, and all she does was a clerk, basically, or a clock, as they would say.
Yeah.
And you get her killed. And her arc is that, like, she is somebody who, and we've seen this in other Bond films, I think, who was not a field agent and starts to get into, like, oh, this is fun. Like, I get to go to parties and throw people downstairs, and I get to sleep with, like, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of fast, and I can't believe I did it, but I mean, I had a shot. I took it,
Right.
You can kind of root for that character, and then you find her dead, covered in oil, and it's like, oh man, you're mad at Bond, but you're mad at Green too, and we get something out of that instead of just he shows up, and oh, she's dead.
I know. The Bond films, I think, get kind of a bad rap for
treating women badly.
Yes. And
they should.
I feel like this is problematic of that,
It's a damn sight better than a lot of the Connery films.
I suppose.
Yeah. Man talk. Did you like this when it came out?
I don't think I enjoyed it when it first came out, but I think watching it again later, with more time in retrospective, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I didn't like it when it came out, or at least I was undecided about it. And it's for none of the reasons, we don't know what the reasons are. Mostly because I considered it Bond fanfic.
Sure.
I know that every Bond film after, which one is it? Octopussy, I guess?
Okay.
Or Living Daylights, I guess, is, they're all new stories. These aren't based on anything that Fleming did.
Sure.
But this was the first one that the whole origin of James Bond is that he goes to this casino, he wins a lot of money at Baccarat or whatever,
right?
And then he trusts a woman and she betrays him, and now he's James Bond, and he's just going to dick his way across Europe.
Right.
And that character changes and grows over the course of the books. He gets married, like he does develop, but we've set the character. Well, this movie wants to, what we propose in this premise is that right after that, he would go on this rampage, like across Europe, and he'd screw up an opera for everybody. And, and it was like, all right, you're kind of doing a thing now. And you do have, it's only 100 and something minutes. If you watch Casino Royale and you got some time, pop in Quantum right after it.
Yeah.
It literally picks up
right where it left off.
Yeah. And I think that it works as a good companion piece to Casino Royale. The disadvantages are inherent in that premise because Casino Royale is a superior film.
Right.
But I think it's got an amazing car chase at the beginning.
It does.
Speaking of bad movies and guilty pleasures, it does open over water, which is one of my rules for when a movie's bad.
Yeah.
But it is heading somewhere. It's not opening over Pittsburgh. It's we're zooming into this car chase.
Yep.
It opens with an amazing car chase, an amazing roof chase, through Spain. It's got a scene where two people they parachute out of a plane into a sinkhole.
I know.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's very fake looking.
Yeah.
They had to fake that one up on a soundstage.
Yep.
And it doesn't look very good.
No.
But the premise is good. And I think that they bring the Vesper story, in my mind, to a satisfying close.
I agree.
If this movie didn't exist and the bitch is dead now and we just went into Bond films, I think it would have been fine.
Right.
Although Skyfall is very problematic in terms of like his relations to women. And so that would have been a kind of hard cut. But in this, we get some closure in terms of that story. I like his foil in Camille in that she is also, kind of doing a revenge thing herself.
Yes.
Instead of just him going out for revenge and somebody kind of showing him that it's wrong, he can mentor her and see through her. I can't do this forever. Like, she's able to give this up. I need to give this up. And I love that scene. I promise I'm going to let you talk. I'm on a roll. I like that scene where he's teaching her how to kill, basically. Like, they're getting ready to go to the exploding hotel.
Yes.
Come one, come all, and see the exploding hotel for all your black market deals.
Right.
And beer rapes.
Yeah.
Get to that, too. Where he's, like, basically giving her the talk that I'm sure he's had at some point about how, like, this is how you kill somebody, you know?
Right.
You squeeze the trigger, you trust your training. It's going to surprise you, you know.
You're going to have a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah. But you just have to, And, that's cool.
It is cool.
Nothing like that in Skyfall. Is
No.
Coconuts and rats speech. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say I like that him and Camille don't sleep with each other. I think that's refreshing.
Well, why would they?
I know. They have a kiss at the end, which is almost kind of a chaste kiss. And then she gets out of the car, and they never see each other.
Yeah,
again.
but it's even like he kisses her and her... I don't know, maybe they could have rented a room in this dingy, like, one train stop town that they end up in. Doesn't she work for the Secret Service? Can't she call somebody for a car? She used to.
Okay.
The Bolivian Secret Service, whatever the capacity that is.
Right.
But it's almost like they kiss and she's almost like, yeah, we're not going to do this. You're nuts. I hope that things work out for you, but I got to go. Yeah.
Right.
Did you think that Camille was weak at the end?
No, I didn't feel like she was weak at the end.
I mean, she stabs the guy to death, but then she's like, I'm afraid of fire.
Well, I think that it goes back to her most basic fear.
Yeah, but she needs a man to save her.
All right.
She actually gives up. She basically thinks that he's going to shoot her to put her out of her misery.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it was all right because he gets the chance. This is real Manny. You know, this is real, I hope this man is satisfied psychologically. But he gets the chance to save, because she's completed her mission. She's done exactly what she wants to do. And honestly, I don't think she was going to make it off that boat with the general. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she was satisfied to die completing her mission.
Right.
But he gets the chance to save a woman in the way he was unable to save Vesper. Do you know what I mean? He gets to protect her and get her out of that situation. And I think that has to satisfy him in a way that he thought that because he had become sort of Vesper's protector and sort of looked after her and was unable to save her and didn't even really know. He didn't know her at all.
No.
And I think that really, of course, shook him. So
I think so,
as
too.
far as his, huge male ego needs to be satisfied, that does, I think, sort of satisfy it for him.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Although he does walk in on a guy who is corned beef. She killed that guy real good.
Yeah, she did.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, I say give it a chance.
I think a lot of people wrote it off, and there are movies that are way worse. We're going to talk about one of them right now.
Yeah.
We haven't been talking about the themes at all.
No, we haven't.
Do you want to drop that in real fast?
Okay.
Let's talk about the Bond themes.
All right.
Do you like Bond theme music?
I do.
I had a double CD of it when I was in college.
Did you really?
And I used to study to it.
Oh my gosh.
So that tells you everything you need to know.
Well, it's very dramatic. So, let's see. Well,
hold on. Let's give this some structure.
Okay. All right.
We're already running long here. The Bond themes come in all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
But they usually have a part that goes da-da-da-da-da, with horns and a
yeah.
And they come in all shapes and sizes, and you can talk about some standout ones if you've got one that you really like. But what I wanted to do was look at a top 10 list. Now let me finish.
Okay.
I picked NME's top 10 list
okay.
of best James Bond themes ever because they are a respected British music organization.
Right.
Don't go to Rolling Stone because who cares what Rolling Stone thinks? But they're basically kind of like the British Rolling Stone or Billboard.
Sure.
Thought I'd give them a shot. And their list is a little different.
Okay.
But their list goes like this from 10 to 1.
Okay.
Starting with number 10, Diamonds Are Forever at number 10.
Okay.
Skyfall at number 9.
Okay.
The World Is Not Enough.
Yep.
Garbage at number 8.
Okay.
For Your Eyes Only, number 7.
Okay.
You Only Live Twice at number 6.
Okay.
A View to a Kill. You Brits! Who you think you're fooling?
Yeah.
At number 5, but okay. Interesting. Goldfinger, number 4.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We Have All the Time in the World at number 3.
Okay.
Nobody Does It Better, number 2. I can't really fault that one. And you wacky Brits, Live and Let Die, number 1. So just going off it, remember there are over 30 songs, and not including the ones that were written but not used for the film, like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Right.
Using this specific list, what do you think about its accuracy? What would be your number 1?
I kind of think number 2 would be my number 1.
The Carly Simon one, really?
Yeah, I really enjoy that song.
I love. Yeah, go ahead.
It's really enjoyable. It's got kind of a Bond beat to it, but it just talks about how awesome Bond is, and I like it because it's not super cheesy.
It's not.
Well, compared to some of the other ones,
if you can accept
comparatively,
if you can accept that a woman is singing for 3 minutes about this guy's dick, you're right. Other than that, it's not cheesy.
Right.
There's no. It's not a Tina Turner. I've got a honey trap for him tonight.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I love the sort of ragtime sort of piano beginning.
Yep.
That which is never played fast. Ragtime is always played slowly.
Right.
Says Scott Joplin. Yeah, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it doesn't scream Bond song. I love Garbage, and to be honest, I like their song "The World Is Not Enough."
I like it too.
It comes off as like Bond karaoke.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It sounds like a computer wrote a James Bond song.
It kind of does, yeah.
So that would not be my pick.
No, but I do like it.
Yeah. Do you like For Your Eyes Only?
I like that song. It wasn't my favorite.
Okay. I just like out of this pick of 10, that probably compares the best to.
I think I really like.
You only pick one favorite.
Oh. Well, my second favorite maybe is
A View to a Kill. Got it.
No, You Only Live Twice.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
That's a pretty great one.
Yeah.
That's got that. That's Barry, right? Barry arranged probably all of these, but it's got that distinctive.
Yes.
At the beginning, yeah.
Exactly.
I like a good bridge in a Bond song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why The View to a Kill is not very good, because the bridge sucks. Because I don't think.
Duran Duran.
They know what a bridge is.
Yeah.
Listen to Rio. But
it's so 80s.
Yeah, it's super 80s.
It's so 80s. I enjoy it, but it's definitely a period piece for sure.
I am not going to say Goldfinger, even though I
Really?
want to say Goldfinger, because I know everybody picks it. Everybody thinks it's the number one. And we listened to it ahead of this show, and I was like, I'm not going to. This is it. This is it. It's quintessential Bond. It's the first real Bond theme, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because nobody really considers, I guess From Russia with Love is a Bond theme, and I do like that song. But this is like, it's Shirley Bassey. It's her first one.
Mm-hmm.
She'd go on to do a couple of these.
Yep.
It's got all the elements of the Monty Norman theme in it. It's got the horns. It's got the strings. And it goes all the way.
Yeah.
It's good to the last drop.
Back.
A lot of these songs are great, and they kind of peter out. Your beloved, The Spy Who Loved Me, just kind of goes, and then it just kind of ends. You know?
Uh-huh.
But this is like good to the last drop. What is he? He loves something. What does he love again? Oh, he loves gold. Yeah. Does he love other things? Only gold! Oh, he's only. Okay, right. Well, that's what he loves. So, I can't. Let's say I can't say that.
Okay. If you can't
I hate playing favorites. This is dumb. I hate playing favorites. Oh, man. I'd probably say You Only Live Twice.
Okay.
As well. But remember, it's just off this list.
That's
I have
true.
things that aren't on this list that I would throw in as the best one.
Like Thunderball?
No. Yeah, like Thunderball. Yeah.
Tom
Jones is the male Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that song.
That's a pretty good one.
It is, and it's got the same elements of the theme, but it's got the switches, because he keeps on saying and and then it switches. They slip that in.
Yeah.
Like Thunder Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's on the list.
I know.
I guess NME doesn't like Welsh people.
I guess not.
Guess not. And Live and Let Die is good, but I almost wouldn't even consider it a Bond song,
Yeah.
It's just a Wings song.
I know, right?
It's arranged by George Martin, What's something else that we figured out? Oh, yeah. We figured out that a lot of these songs, they're overproduced, some of them.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
There's a thing where if you hear it in like a Carly Simon song or a Sheena Easton song, you think, oh, of course. But when you hear it in an Adele song, it's like, what?
Yeah.
That thing where the people like repeat the chorus or the phrases, where it's like, it's a sky fall. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need that. It's
I
just
know.
you're worried that there's not enough going on in the song, and so they overproduce it, and it drags some of these down.
Yeah. I think Skyfall, like you said, definitely suffers from that.
What about the abortion that is Die Another Day? Is that the worst?
It's not great.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably up there for one of the worst.
It's like she didn't get incomplete. It's not even an F.
Yeah.
Did you get the notes for the assignment?
Right.
Did you know?
This doesn't sound like a Bond song.
No.
And what are we really talking about here?
Sigmund Freud analyzed this. What are you talking about?
I know.
You got a lot to answer for him. Donna. She's in the movie. I don't know. We're not talking about that movie.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. I'm trying to think of what else is unorthodox but good. I think all Bond films, whatever you want to do with 25, I think there's rumored that they're going to try to redo On Her Majesty's, with like Madeline Swan and the Tracy Bond role.
Okay.
Whatever. All Bond films should be period films from now on. Does this work at all anymore? Do you even have a guy who's drunkenly stumbling across Europe, just shooting people at random and driving gondolas, hovercraft through the streets of Venice, and pigeons are double taking?
I don't know if it works anymore.
Why not just set it in the 60s?
Sure.
A man in a skinny tie is eating grilled sole in a train car. You know what I mean? Like, why not?
Absolutely. And then we could have the Cold War back in there. A lot of your...
Instead of having villains who are trying to bring the Cold War back.
Right.
Every villain comes in, they're like, I missed the Cold War, so we've got these Russian nukes, and we're going to set off a thing, and we're going to do a thing, and it'll be back to the good old days. You can just set these movies in the 60s if you want.
Right.
It'd be real easy.
Right.
Let's talk about The World Is Not Enough.
All right.
What's your history with this film? It was on once in a hotel room.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, this movie's pretty good.
Yep.
And about 5 minutes went by, and I went, oh, I was wrong.
Never mind.
I thought this movie was good.
Yeah.
I remembered it wrong.
Yeah.
It's at 51% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
That is definitely one of the lowest rated Bond films. They're all weighted fairly high because of people's affection for Bond.
Sure.
But some of them are, in the low 60s.
Yeah. Like Die Another Day, maybe.
This is one of the lowest. Yeah, Die Another Day, real far down.
Yeah.
But this is one of the lowest at 51.
I
bring that up
see
because on Craft Disservices,
Yep.
we generally talk about films that are 50% or lower.
Yes.
So this is on the edge, but I thought it was worth talking about.
Yeah.
Can you, I'd be interested to know, can you explain, give me a short synopsis of the plot. What's going on in The World Is Not Enough?
This billionaire named King gets killed really early on in the movie by his tie pin and some explosives on some money.
Yeah. Nailed it.
And then we start following his daughter, who we found out was kidnapped by this guy, Renard. who is a psychopath and bad guy who got shot in the head, and now that bullet is just making him stronger.
By 006, I think? It was one of the 00s.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's just making him stronger
it was
now.
a spinach bullet.
Yeah. So now 007 has to go protect Electra King, the king's daughter.
Did anybody not figure that out?
The name Electra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Morning becomes her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb.
So she seems like this innocent, and Bond goes to protect her, and she doesn't seem like she wants any protection. And then they go skiing, and there's some parachuters that are after her, and she freaks out. And Bond basically protects her and gets rid of them. And she wants to know who's after her and stuff like that. And he's like, not going to tell her who it is. And he basically...
This is, once again...
My description's
This is
gone off the
everything
rails.
that happens in the film.
Yeah, okay.
So it would summarize the plot of the film. An oil... recently... How do you describe her? The daughter of a deceased oil tycoon.
Yes.
Is being hunted by a man that kidnapped her.
Yes.
And Bond must protect her. I'm trying to fit Christmas Jones in here somehow. While Bond is assigned to protect her, but learns that things are not what they seem.
Yes.
That's all I got.
That's right. And then there's
and
Christmas Jones who's Denise Richards.
Jeez. Die another day. Let's just go on to that. Not great. I felt like the writers of this, who, boy, I'm assuming it's Purvis and Wade.
Yeah.
Talk about it while I look up who wrote this.
Okay. It's we've got kind of a like seeming innocent who turns out to be kind of like a femme fatale.
Twist.
Yeah. And Bond kind of figures it out before he's got it all figured out. Like he's like, you're in love with Renard, it's Stockholm syndrome and all this stuff.
Nailed it. So anyway, yeah, you got it. So it is Purvis and Wade. It was also, there's a screenwriter credit to Bruce Fierstein. I've never heard of him either. He did write Real Men Don't Eat Quiche, though.
Oh, boy.
That was me dropping my phone in disgust. Yeah. I feel like, first of all, Purvis and Wade have to go.
Yeah.
There are so many talented screenwriters who need a shot at this. And just get these guys out of there. They're never going to, because the whole thing is just this. Another show
inflated.
is the story of the Broccoli family, and
yeah.
We won't get into that. But even they should be able to realize it's time to put Purvis and Wade out to pasture.
Put new writers in there and we'll get new blood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get somebody hot.
Yep.
Warren Ellis.
Sure.
He's written Bond in the comics. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. See what he's got to say.
Sure.
Bond will be getting a cyber brain and shoving cyber tools into something and in space. And are you kidding me? And he'll find out that, Charles is a lizard person who's
my God.
Yeah, forget. Don't do that. From the fifth dimension. So I feel like somebody read the newspaper and created a Bond film out of it.
Yeah.
They were reading the
pretty
article.
much.
Stockholm Syndrome. Sounds interesting.
Right.
The brain can do what, if it's damaged or repairing itself?
Right.
Former Soviet Republic missiles are being disarmed in so-and-so.
Yep.
You've heard ripped from the headlines. This
Yes.
is like silly puttied from the headlines.
Yes.
And they stuck it all together and made a film out of it.
Yeah.
Where did Christmas Jones come from?
I don't know.
We just needed another Bond girl.
Yeah, we did.
And this is their idea of, this is a Bond girl who doesn't need 007's help all the time.
Right.
She has a doctorate. She's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And she wears Tomb Raider shorts. So
Right.
we know she's active.
Right.
And literally just hangs around for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And at one point, he needs to go talk to Robbie Coltrane, who they kill off in this film.
Yes.
A fun character that they created for the movies showed up in GoldenEye. And Minnie Driver was, doing karaoke with him or whatever.
Right.
And then they just brutally kill him off in this film for no good reason.
I know.
And then we get Die Another Day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess Robbie Coltrane wanted out. I don't know the story behind it, and so Christmas Jones is like there, and then they put her in a dress to distract Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
And then she's there at the end for a very dumb joke.
Yeah, I know.
Why is she in this? In what is essentially a ripoff of the Moonraker scene? Or I think he's attempting re-entries.
God.
It's just that joke over again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about Christmas Jones?
I liked her. I mean, she definitely was like her own person, and she didn't need Bond, which I liked. She does end up sleeping with him at the end of the film because she's a Bond girl. So there's that.
What about Boxing Day Johnson? Did you like her?
What?
I don't know.
I think she's a good, strong female character.
Piece of furniture.
But then she sleeps with Bond, so.
Well, she doesn't. You can't sleep with Bond if you're a strong. Look at Jinx.
I
don't
guess
look at Jinx.
Okay.
Don't ever look. Why Denise Richards? Was she hot then?
Yeah.
I kept joking that this is a prequel to Dairy Queens or whatever it's called. Drop Dead
Gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, I think she was kind of hot then. When did Wild Things come out?
97, 98?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think she was a thing. So.
Not great.
No, not great. But...
let's talk about R.
Okay.
The introduction of R.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Desmond
Llewellyn.
No.
Plays Q.
Yeah.
Major Boothroyd, and If You're Nasty. For many years.
Mm-hmm.
They retire him in this film.
Yes.
I think mostly because I don't think there's anything specifically wrong with him. He's just really old.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've had a good run. Let's get me out of there, get somebody else in.
Right.
Ironically, dies in a car accident on the way home from a publicity event.
Oh, my God.
So he doesn't even die of old age. He dies in a car accident. No word on if it was an Aston Martin. Dies standing next to a car, or leaves the film standing next to a car.
Yeah.
I've always tried to teach you two things, 007.
Right.
Two things I've never said in the films, ever once.
Right.
Never let them see you bleed. And always have an escape plan. I've never once said those things to you. So great job, Purvis and Way, on that one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Also, if he's going to go out, I think they got rid of him because you have to, I guess, introduce Mr. Schweppervescence into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let him get to the end of the movie.
I know,
Except
right?
I don't think they did because they're ripping off the Moonraker thing. And that would we just know that if, I don't know, it's just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. R is just goofy. And they're like, if you're Q, then he's R.
Yeah, wacky
Woo-hoo.
character, just add John Cleese, you'd think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's not like he comes in walking silly. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You have to have a character for him.
Yeah.
The thing is that Q never really had a character. It just sort of accreted personality as the films went on. Do you know what I mean? Even to the point where, and it shows up in this film, that we get that 007 is always sort of exasperating him.
Right.
And that is well shown in some films and not in the others. But I think we show that this isn't fun anymore in the scene where Bond is just desperately running through MI6 headquarters to get down to the vault so he can tell them to leave the money alone.
Yes.
And he bumps into Q, and Q's like, oh, that 007. And it's supposed to be like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Not the time.
No.
For that little moment. You
No.
know what I mean? That's not what we need to focus on right now. Men are about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
No. Mm-mm.
Anything good from this film?
I thought the Electra twist was pretty good, even though I suppose I should have guessed it from her name. Bond
comes in and is like, I know what you're doing. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Right.
and then the movie just goes on for a while.
Yeah.
And then, no, that's what it was.
Yeah, he was
That's
right.
not strong. That's not a strong construction.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her liking Renard is kind of gross, but it's supposed to be.
There must be. Let me pull on my Killing Joke pants for this one.
Oh, God.
There must be a good way to do that, right?
I don't know.
But it's not in a movie where a guy gets killed with a plutonium rod shot through him, right?
Yeah.
Not in a Bond film.
No.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody can do a movie where somebody is connected to their captor in this kind of gross way,
Right?
But you were on the whole time though, because as soon as he kind of uneventfully goes to bed with her,
Yep.
You're like, she's got 2 different earrings on, and I was like, oh shit, she's figured it out already. Because a girl is this stereotyping? Do you feel
a little
like this is stereotyping? Because
Yeah,
you were paying attention to her accessories.
I was.
Whereas the male audience of this film's like, I don't know.
Well, she was wearing this fancy red dress to the casino, and she had these fancy red dangly earrings.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, the next scene, they're having sex together, and she has these gold earrings on.
Yeah.
Who changes their earrings to have sex?
Electric King.
It's just weird.
Yeah. But you were right onto that, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they really cut trees like that with a helicopter saw.
Yeah.
But it makes for a very Bond-esque sort of scene.
It sure does.
It's got to be the most expensive way to cut a tree, though.
Yeah, I
See
know.
how much helicopter fuel costs as compared to chainsaw fuel?
Probably
I'm guessing more.
Quite a bit
guessing
more.
a lot more. I feel like the Brosnan films are always plagued with very unexciting, low-key introductions to Bond. Now, Bond swimming through a thing with a duck on his head is not, it's distinctive, not exciting necessarily.
Right.
But this movie literally opens with him just walking across the street, trying not to get hit by a car.
Right.
You're supposed to get excited. Oh, it's James Bond.
Right.
Think about like Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
We
This, like,
joined
crazy
him
car
mid-car
chase.
chase.
Yeah.
Where he's continuing that sort of tradition of the first film where he's like, I don't care. Whatever.
Right.
Things are blowing up around him and he's just like, yeah, all right. Downshift. Got it. Right. But like all the Brosnan films start with him just like, boop, boop, I'm James Bond. Oh, what's this?
Well, I stumbled upon something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes a Clinton joke with the cigar.
Gosh.
That joke was, I guess it was timely. I don't know. That was dead already, wasn't it?
Know.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Got X-ray specs.
Yeah, his X-ray specs. Oh my goodness. Saw all the ladies' underwear as well as their guns.
Do you think that there's a, yeah. Do you think that there's a, yeah. Well, it's PG-13. Do you think there's a relationship? What's the relationship between Dalton's Bond, or excuse me, Brosnan's Bond and M? Good, bad?
I think it's pretty good. Although she does get captured in this, and like, but he like goes and like rescues her. He just like shoots off the chain on the cell, and then he's done.
But he's got a lady to murder.
I know.
He has a lady in evening wear to murder.
I know.
A defenseless woman in evening wear to murder.
You wouldn't kill me.
Blam.
Yeah.
I never miss. The worst one-liners. The worst one-liners in this movie.
I know.
How easy would it have been to just put a zip tie on Electric King and just take her away, boys?
Yes. Would have been really easy when he got her up there to the bedroom or what have you.
Yep.
Instead of having her collapse on the bed because
Murder
she's dead.
her. Yep. She's already told Renard to dive the sub.
Yeah.
It's way too late.
Yeah.
To do anything.
Yeah.
But then he's got to jump off the thing. They try to make him into too much of a Superman, and I think it's the fault of GoldenEye, because in GoldenEye, like, GoldenEye's a great film, but he's going nuts. He's like kills 300 people with an AK-47. He's driving a tank through Moscow, and he's busting through stuff, and that's all straightening his tie, and that's all supposed to be like, whoa, wow, he's really going crazy here,
Right?
And then every film turned into him having to do the exact same thing, just murdering hundreds of people with automatic weapons, jumping off of planes and stuff.
Right.
And it translates into he can yell at M. You shouldn't be able to yell at M. Even James Bond, Daniel Craig, who like breaks into her apartment and stuff, he's just kind of like cheekily trying to impress her. Do you know what I mean? Like a schoolboy.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's like, knock it off. And he's like, yes, Mom. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we do. But he's like yelling at her in front of like other double O's. And she's like, give us the room so I can let him yell at me some more.
I know.
And I'm like,
Good point.
yeah, I don't like that dynamic.
No, I'm not a fan of it really either.
He does some good hurt acting in this, though.
Yeah. A lot of good hurt acting, for sure.
Not great.
No.
Do you want to really quick talk about The Living Daylights?
Yeah, let's do
I don't think
that.
it really fits. We've talked about some questionable films, and this is just unquestionably a great film.
It's a good film.
What happens? What happened? Is it safe to ask you?
Oh, God. I don't know. This one guy I don't think he's a spy. They're helping him defect to safe country, basically. And
Safe country.
they do it through like, is it like an oil rig, or is it like
It's a pipeline.
what is the place? It's a pipeline.
A pipeline to
Yes.
the west. He's a Russian general. I don't
Yes.
think that necessarily means anything. Everybody's a general, it turns out. But here's the blurb that you get on DirecTV or whatever, right?
Sure.
It's like Bond helps a Russian general defect to the west.
Yes.
And finds out things are not what they seem. You can't do that with everyone.
Yeah.
And along the way, it gets involved in a conspiracy with an arms dealer. Mm-hmm. An arms dealer, opium, and diamonds.
Yes.
Also, Osama bin Laden stops by to
Right.
say hello.
And
But we'll get to that.
there's a blonde cellist.
And a blonde, just a cello. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Georgy Koskov.
Yeah.
He defects.
Yes.
But he doesn't really defect.
No, he doesn't. He's a sneaky guy.
I love that reverse defecting
Yes.
stuff.
And so some guys come and after he's defected, supposedly, and come and capture him.
Yeah.
But he just wanted it to look like he had defected.
Right.
But he's really in business for himself.
Yeah. And that the point of that is like it gets him off the hook, basically.
Yes.
Because, yeah, you're right. He's in business for himself. He's working with Joe Don Baker in what I think is his first appearance in the Bond films, right? He would appear later as Jack Wade in the Brosnan films. But,
Okay.
yeah, Joe Don Baker is Brad Whitaker, an American arms dealer
Yes.
and self-styled military man.
Yes.
And they're basically doing heroin deals for diamonds, and they're flipping
Mm-hmm.
that, and selling arms to people, and he's got a whole little business running.
Yep.
And it's all under the nose of General Pushkin, played by John Rhys Davies, who was supposed to be General Gogol from
Okay.
the earlier films, but
Okay.
that actor was also too old and sick to really do anything.
Okay.
He does appear at the end. He congratulates Kara on the cellist concert,
Okay.
cello concert. But so they instead substituted this character, General Pushkin.
Okay.
That's too bad,
Yeah.
because some of my favorite parts or my favorite scene in the film is when he's going to kill General Pushkin.
Yeah.
And here's an example of a Bond who is angry and is not going rogue. He's putting his anger into his job.
Right.
And so we like John Rhys Davies. We've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's Gimli,
Right.
He's fun. And when Bond has to kill him, I still think that there would be a lot more emotion in that scene if he's going to kill General Gogol. It's like, don't kill General Gogol.
Right.
But yeah, that's still a pretty good scene.
Yeah.
What did you think? So this is the first time we see Timothy Dalton.
Yes.
Unlike Brosnan, I think we get a good entrance. He skydives out of a plane onto Gibraltar. That's pretty
Right.
good. And you also get a switcheroo because you just three masked guys. You don't really know who you're seeing or what this is, and he's sort
Right.
of revealed. We kind of like, this is James Bond. Everybody, check it out.
Right.
This good-looking Welsh dude.
And it's like something has gone wrong with the mission.
Yeah.
Because he's surprised.
Yeah, that's that defines a lot of Dalton's reign as Bond, is
Yeah.
him being surprised by a lot
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
And sort of afraid of things.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like there's with the defector, there was an assassin, and the assassin turns out to be a blonde cellist, and
Right.
he's very taken with her, and but she's kind of
Well,
mysterious at first.
that girl didn't know one end of a gun from the other.
Yes.
He also knows that she's not a professional.
Right, exactly. And he winged her. Didn't he like wing her?
He shoots the gun.
Yeah. Okay. And it like kind of like clips her arm or hurts her arm.
Yes.
And
was.
she can't
Must have
play
scared
for
the
a
living
couple of
daylights out
days.
of her.
Right.
Yeah. But he's gonna make it up to her.
Yep.
Well, it's dead.
Oh
It's
my
not.
God.
Come on, it's not okay.
But
On a Ferris wheel.
they hook up and
Are you still going through the plot?
yes.
Okay. I mean, we can go about to specific elements. Like, what do you think? Like, where do you think he ranks? I guess we could rank our bonds. I don't really want to. Different show.
Okay.
But how do you think generally he fits?
I think he does a really good job.
Above the line of average?
I think so, yeah. I
think
really
he's,
enjoyed this movie.
I mean, they don't pick these guys because they're ugly,
No.
but I think he's a damn handsome man.
Yeah.
I think he's a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking guy.
And he's a good age.
Yes.
I don't know how many, unless we went the Moore route, I don't know how many more films we could have got out of him, but he starts off older, you know?
Sure.
He's too old for Kara, really.
Really, yeah.
But he's got a youthful look, but also, you know, he's got a maturity and age to him, I think, that you would expect from
James Bond. Yeah.
He looks good in a tuxedo that turns into an all-black jacket.
Right.
Cover that up. That's cool. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And a gigantic rifle.
I know.
I think that's a real type of sniper rifle, but you wouldn't need that to shoot half a block away some lady in a window.
I know, right?
Yeah, you could probably just do that with a PPK, but whatever.
Well, and I like she tries to be super careful about her cello, but her cello gets a gunshot, like a bullet shot through it.
Yeah.
Very early on.
Why didn't you learn the violin?
Yeah, exactly. But she still plays it.
Sure.
And she's you know, very sentimental about it.
Yeah.
And I like how they're escaping and they're on a ski slope, but they're in the cello case.
It's a send up of it's an inversion of the typical Bond skiing scene,
Right.
You know,
They're sledding, and
I like how it escalates because what are they in? She lives in, where does she live? Czechoslovakia.
I can't remember.
She lives in unnamed Eastern Bloc country that I can't remember what it is. It's something that borders with Austria.
Yeah.
And they're just driving along, and and then they run into some cops, and then it just starts a tank show up.
Mm-hmm.
The entire military is after him. It's like, whoa!
Yeah.
It's like watching somebody play Grand Theft Auto. Like
Right.
they made it to 6 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they I think it's like they make it to Austria, and they're like, I have nothing to declare.
Yeah, it's the whole Duke Boys thing. They don't have jurisdiction in that county. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they tiptoe around them having a relationship for a little while, and then they.
Well, it's weird because he's lying to her. He's pretending to
Yes.
know her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I never know how to say this guy's name, but Jeroen Crabbe plays Koskov, and I've always liked him. He's great, but he's really great at like the slimy kind of roles.
Oh, and he's very slimy in this.
And I think
for
he's
sure.
good at that. I think Jodan Baker is just. I don't know if Jodan Baker is a good actor or not. C. Mitchell. But he's good at this.
Mm-hmm.
He's real good at this character, this kind of character. I've heard people say that Necros, played by blonde guy whose name I'm not going to look up right now.
Oh yeah, I know who
is
you're talking
one of
about.
the best Bond henchmen.
He is.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well,
isn't half of his performance Chrissy Hind? That guy likes one Pretenders song.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. It kind of is, but I don't know. I think he's sleazy and creepy and, does a good job at being underhanded. And
yeah, he's just so flat. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want in your assassin.
I mean, he's a henchman with a huge capital letter H on him.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's sort of, I don't know.
He's cartoony.
He talks like, he's got like 2 or 3 lines that are in his own voice. And I think I don't know, I guess I could look up his James Bond wiki page, but it seems like he's supposed to be just American or just sort of like, you know, regular guy.
Right.
He looks German, but he's like, I didn't kill him, Bond did. And it's like a normal voice. But then he's able to like sort of when he's the milkman, they're like, where's the other guy? Got the flu, you know. He's suddenly doing a different sort of personality or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, he's kind of flat. Necros prequel? That's what I'm asking for. Also, your name's Necros. Tone it down a little.
I know, right? It's like Craven in Underworld.
Craven. Rays or whatever. Yeah, he's good. Miriam Dabo is not that great.
You don't think so?
No. Okay, so we're going to talk about Bond girls, right?
Yeah.
We're always looking for one thing, and then if they can act, that's good too.
Oh, boy.
And I agree. I think she might be, for this man, like the most beautiful Bond girl. Like, she's extremely good looking.
Yeah.
But it's like, James. It's all this, you know. Well, maybe she's hampered by the fake accent that she has to do, but like, don't joke. Who would pay? What? It's not like she got hit in the head in that escape from Czechoslovakia or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Well, and she like figures out that he's been lying to her, and like she kind of like double crosses him,
which is a good setup for a scene.
Yep.
But it's not a good scene.
No.
It's just awkward and weird.
Yeah. And then she feels bad that she like double crossed him because I don't know, she feels like she can trust him for some reason, like now.
Yeah, we don't ever...
I don't know why that is.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Because Bond just passes out and wakes up in the plane, and she's like, I'm sorry I did that. It's like,
right.
Well, what made you change your mind?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, now I see you're kind of helpless, and I feel bad.
Maybe she didn't know that Yogi was involved in, like, international diamond smuggling. And
right.
She's like, this sucks. I don't
right.
want to do this.
Right.
I should have stuck with this other guy.
Yeah.
The nice British guy that took me to the opera.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah, it's not the best Bond heroine. They have to throw in the obligatory, I'm going to do it myself. I'm a kick-ass lady.
Right.
It's like, all right. I like kick-ass ladies, but it's all just so the Osama bin Laden guy can be like, women. So we get a women joke out of it.
I know.
What do you think about Osama bin Laden?
I love that you call him Osama bin Laden. I mean...
That's essentially what he is.
I guess.
I mean, he's part of a quote-unquote royal family in Afghanistan.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
He's fighting the Russians.
Yep.
He's received Western aid.
True.
And so at this point, he's just, the Russians' enemy in Afghanistan. He's exactly what we wanted him to be. But he will then go on to radicalize other people and blow up the basement of the World Trade Center, in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
I know.
It's the Mujahideen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's cool in this movie. Like, he escapes
Western
with them.
educated.
Yeah.
And yeah. That's what we're talking about.
I know.
It depends on your theory of time, but 2001 didn't exist at this point. So, yeah, at that point, he's just a guy who wants the Russians out of Afghanistan.
Right.
And it's a very Bond-esque sort of thing that he was educated at Oxford, so they've got something in common. And so, of course, I'll help you. One English gentleman's word to another sort of thing. Yeah, but, politics is complicated.
Yeah, that's true. It could have easily gone another way.
Do you know that Virginia Hay is in this?
Oh,
Zahn
yes.
from Farscape?
Yes, that's right.
I don't think she speaks a single line except,
I don't
know if that counts towards your SAG card, but
yeah.
No. They jam Felix Leiter into this, played by Jack's dad from Lost.
Right.
What else is fun about this film? Some fun gadgets.
Yeah.
Not like crazy gadgets, and there's like practical gadgets I don't know if you lived through the 80s, but everybody had those beeping car fob things. We all did. So the fact that you could weaponize one of those, it's like, I thought that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Let's see, what else is fun about this? She goes back to playing her cello at the end. So it's
she gets to play a big concert.
Yeah.
And she's going to go on a world tour.
Yeah.
Which is what she wanted.
Right. So
One day I play at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
All right.
So she gets more or less what she wants by the end of the film.
Yeah, and all she had to do was just start a war between the Mujahideen and the Russians.
Right.
And then blow up a plane full of opium in Karachi.
Yep. I like that they leave the plane in a Jeep.
That's, as far as like stunt stuff,
yeah,
that's hot stuff.
Yeah.
Like them doing the whole plane taking off of the airstrip. We've seen that, but they do that. Then they get up in there and it's him fighting a guy hanging on a bag off of the end of a plane.
Yep.
All real stuntmen doing that.
That's crazy.
And then even the stuff where they cut to a studio and it's him and the actor on a stage, with a back projection or blue screen or whatever.
Right.
It still looks pretty good.
It does.
And then he does cuts the boot off. He got the boot. Like,
right.
That's all good stuff.
Yep.
And then, oh no, the bomb's still going to go off.
Right.
And then now the plane's out of fuel and it just kind of keeps escalating.
Yes.
Like, that was really great.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. The fact that they escaped from the airstrip and then they had to go back there later. That was
the mean jailer guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what's this guy? This is like a month of Sundays for this guy.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's got 3 prisoners he can torture. Wow.
Right? Yeah. I think it was.
What do you think about Brosnan not being as much of a playboy? Do you think that if the films, because he doesn't have a chance to. In the first one, people are killing spies, and he's really this is a problem.
Right.
And the second one, somebody mortally wounds Felix Leiter and kills a woman who clearly Bond has slept with many times, but is marrying Felix Leiter. And so he's got to go kill Robert Davi.
Right.
If there had been more Dalton films, would he have gotten to, play more Baccarat?
I kind of feel like, I think he would have been like a ladies' man. And although,
I don't know.
Excuse me, in this film, it's only one lady. So it's not, there's definitely been more films where he's slept with more women than that.
Yeah, he doesn't really in this one. And in fact, when he sleeps with more than one lady in Die Another Day, Live and Let Die, You're Dead, You Got Killed, You're Dead.
Right.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
License to Kill.
Yeah.
It's just like one is like a CIA agent who's like, I'm hot, you're hot, let's do it. And doesn't mean anything, although it's not a good film.
Oh.
And then he sleeps with a drug dealer's mole because she's just really hot for him. And he's like, well, I got 6 hours, so.
Great.
He's different in that way.
Yeah. Huh.
He's straight, right?
Well, and
it doesn't matter.
Right.
There's just the actor.
Yeah.
I think he's got. I don't know. I think he's closed about his personal life.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But I remember very clearly my mom didn't talk about movie stars or sex or anything. I found out about all that through movies. But I was watching an interview with Timothy Dalton, who's at Disney World for some reason, and this is in like the mid-90s, and my mom was doing something, walked by the TV, saw him talking, went, he's gay, and just kept walking, and I'm like, what? It's all changed around now. You've rearranged the furniture of my life. I have no idea what's happening. What was just going on? Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't want to start any rumors. I wouldn't care if he was.
No, I wouldn't care if he was either.
But I just wonder if, he's not really bagging a lot of ladies in the James
in the Bond
movies.
movies. Oh.
Would you recommend any of these films?
I would recommend Living Daylights for sure.
Yeah.
And I would also recommend Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, me too. Living Daylights is probably not going to be for everybody, although it should. I think it is a solid movie.
It is.
Was it Martin Campbell that directed that one? I
I'm
think
not
so.
sure.
He seems to direct all the, hey, it's a new Bond films. Budget could have been higher.
Yeah,
It's got a real TV look in some areas.
it does.
Maybe not totally his fault. I just can't think of a reason to recommend The World Is Not Enough. I'd like to.
I know.
I think the premise of a climactic fight inside a nuclear submarine is a good one, but it just doesn't.
It's not
Yeah.
super climactic.
Doesn't live up to anything.
No.
And I got to, give it a chance. Give Quantum of Solace a chance. What's wrong?
Yeah, I agree.
It just wants to love you. Why you keep pushing it away?
Right.
I don't understand.
Right.
Final thoughts. James Bond, dinosaur or is a chameleon with the age?
I like James Bond. I think he's very likable.
Well, this isn't a referendum on James Bond. I'm just saying,
charismatic.
I gave my period piece idea before. Like,
Right.
is this a character that should continue?
I feel like it is.
Drinking Four Locos and
Right. Jeez.
just
Wow. I don't know about that, but
vaping all across Europe.
oh no. But I think he's an iconic character, and I don't know. I just feel like he's a troubled character, but he's worth exploring.
So you think the moody man is a guy that we need to keep pursuing in the 21st century?
Wow, when you put it that way.
Yeah. Would you like your little Black Widow movie to be a female James Bond movie?
Yeah, actually, I kind of would.
Do you think that a movie like Atomic Blonde showed that there is definitely room and interest for that?
I think it did. I wish it was a little tighter. I don't know. I feel like it
being Atomic Blonde?
Yeah. I feel like it was maybe not
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not saying Atomic Blonde was
best.
perfect. I'm just saying this lady is gonna
kick some butt.
tape a lot of microphones to herself,
Right.
in lingerie. What was?
I don't know.
Because I guess the thing was that she taped everything that they said all the time.
Yeah.
And that was the real weapon.
Yeah.
Not her jumping out of a window with a rope around a guy's neck or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway. Okay, great.
Yeah, I think it showed that can work. And it was plausible.
Going to be a lot of those flips where you put a guy's head in your crotch and then you spin around
Oh
and
boy.
throw him on the ground. Right?
Yeah. That's true.
I think the Wasp did one of those.
Yeah, she did. She totally did.
Would a dude ever do that to another dude?
I don't think so.
You see like Captain America like go up and go, yeah, not today. And then he jumps up and grabs a guy's head and then flips and lands it and picks up a shield. No homo.
My God.
Right?
Wow.
So you put a guy's head between your legs.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, that's our show. Hopefully we didn't wear out our welcome, unlike some Bonds. No, I don't know. I'd like to see what they do with 25.
Yeah.
They're going to make a huge deal out of it because it's 25.
It's true.
They're not going to they're not going to pay a dude $50 million to not slit his wrists to get a bad movie. I'll tell you that much. But I'm really excited for Bond 26.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Why that?
Because I think that this will just be them shutting down Craig's thing, you know?
Okay,
like,
sure.
Let's give that a nice finale.
Right.
And I think, I hope that they will treat this as a chance to like, come on, where are we going now?
Right.
Let's go to the moon. Literally.
Sure.
But not, as Paul says, we can't do that and have
okay.
it not be ridiculous. Virgin Galactic. Going to the moon. Well, go to the moon with us on our Facebook and Twitter pages and our social media. You can find information, updates from us, things that we're doing, comments, reviews, all that good stuff. Pick up some of our coverage of CVG 2018 if you missed that. That'd be a good thing to look at. And you can find us also on iTunes, also known as Apple Podcasts, if you want to hear more from the show. Also, Google Play, Stitcher, all those great outlets. When you find us on those outlets, subscribe to the show, because that's the best way to get the show. And we come right to you as soon as it's ready. Also, leave us a review while you're there, because we love hearing from the fans, hearing how you think we're doing, and also what you want us to cover next.
Mm-hmm.
You can also contact the show with suggestions at justenoughtrope.com. No, but @Gmail. We haven't been going that long. Justenoughtrope@gmail.com with feedback and suggestions. You can find the show at justenoughtrope.com on the intertubes. And while you're on iTunes or wherever you are, leave us a rating. Really the most important part. When you give us a rating of 1 to 5 something or others, we move up in the ranks, assuming it's high, and we can reach more people and get exposed to more people and meet more people and kill them with how good our show is. That won't be a good example of that. I'm like the lamb skewered when it sympathizes.
Oh my God.
So give us 5 martinis.
Sure.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yes.
Who stirs a martini?
I don't know.
Isn't shaken
the preferred way?
before the Bond films rose to prominence? Was everybody just having a stirred martini all the time? Right?
Maybe.
Or was your bartender just lazy and he didn't want to shake it?
Yeah, that could be.
Isn't that what it is?
I could see that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
So just to avoid that whole thing altogether and give us 5 stars, we'd appreciate it. I want to tell you what's coming up on our next show, but I'd have to kill you. No, it's not true. But we are definitely going to have an interview with another guest of honor from this year's Convergence. I don't want to get too specific, but we might drop a little hint as to what we'll be talking about before we return for our next show. You want to give us a hint now?
Somebody who's into games.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
What kind of games?
Role-playing games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't play games. Blofeld or whatever. Yeah, we're done with that. So stay tuned for that. And I guess we're going to sign off for now. I'm your host, Caliban.
I'm your co-host, Mikan Hana.
Keep the geek fires burning.